Alrighty, now here we go. Grandpa Frank here. We're in the Gospel of John, doing commentary. We're up to chapter 12. Then Jesus, 6 days before the Passover, came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, which had been dead, whom he raised from the dead. There they made him a supper, and Martha served, but Lazarus was one of them that sat at the table with him. Then took Mary a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the odor of the ointment. Then saith one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, which should betray him, Why was not this ointment sold for 300 pence and given to the poor? This he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief, and had the bag, and bare what was put therein. Then said Jesus, Let her alone. Against the day of my burying has she kept this. For the poor always ye have with you, but me ye have not always. Much people of the Jews therefore knew that he was there, and they came not for Jesus' sake only, but that they might see Lazarus dead, whom he had raised from the dead. But the chief priests consulted that they might put Lazarus also to death, because that by reason of him many of the Jews went away and believed on Jesus. Okay, so here's a little anecdote, a little story here where the sisters of Lazarus, Mary and Martha, are there together. And it's Mary who comes with a pound of ointment, of special perfume, and anoints the feet of Jesus. And with her hair, she cleanses it. And of course, some of the disciples, Judas especially, said, "Well, what a big waste! We could easily have sold this for a large sum of money and then given that to the poor." But Jesus said, rebuked them and said, "No, no, no. This was done in preparation of his burial." So he knew that his time was coming. And the Jewish leaders that were about there, they knew that Jesus was there, and Lazarus, they've heard of him as well. And they were considering having Lazarus killed again because of Jesus, and because many of the Jewish were choosing to follow Jesus instead of the Pharisees. Verse 12. On the next day, much people that were come to the feast, when they heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem, took branches of palm trees and went forth to meet him, and cried, Hosanna! Blessed is the King of Israel that cometh in the name of the Lord. And Jesus, when he had found a young ass, sat thereon, as it is written, Fear not, daughter of Zion. Behold, thy king cometh, sitting on an ass's coat. These things understood not his disciples at the first, but when Jesus was glorified, then remembered that these things were written of him, and that they had done these things unto him. The people, therefore, that was with him, when he called Lazarus out of the grave, and raised him from the dead, bear record. For this cause the people also met him, for that they heard that he had done this miracle. The Pharisees therefore said among themselves, Perceive ye how ye prevail nothing? Behold, the world has gone after him. Okay, so Jesus now comes into Jerusalem. The people hear, and they go out, and they greet him with branches, and they cry out, Hosanna! Blessed is the King of Israel that cometh in the name of the Lord. And again, these are verses of scripture from the Old Testament that point toward the Messiah, the coming Messiah. And some of the common people, they recognize this, and they see that as a sign that Jesus is the Messiah. And the Pharisees, the religious leaders, they see it, and they say, well, this can't be the Messiah. Look at what he's doing. He's doing miracles on the Sabbath. So for them, it's tradition, and it's all these things that are being done that Jesus is doing that is totally upsetting them. And on top of that, they're seeing that people are going toward Jesus. I think there's a lot of jealousy right here, and envy. They're going toward Jesus, and they're not following the Pharisees anymore. Verse 20. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. The same came therefore to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. Philip cometh and telleth Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip tell Jesus. And Jesus answered them, saying, The hour is come, that the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. Now is my soul troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this cause came I to this hour. Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven, saying, I have both glorified it, and will glorify it again. The people, therefore, that stood by and heard, said that it thundered. Others said, An angel spake to him. Jesus answered and said, This voice came not because of me, but for your sakes. Now is the judgment of the world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. This he said, signifying what death he should die. The people answered him, We have heard out of the law that Christ abideth forever. And how sayest thou, the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is the Son of Man? Then Jesus saith unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. While ye have light, believe in the light, that you may be the children of light. These things spake Jesus, and departed, and did hide himself from them. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him, that the saying of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spake, Lord, who hath believed our report, and to whom hath the arm of the Lord been revealed? Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah said again, He hath blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their hearts, and be converted, and I should heal them. These things said Isaiah when he saw his glory, and spake of him. Okay, so I'm going to pause right there for a moment. So Jesus comes into Jerusalem. The people, again, as a these are signs that are fulfilled in Scripture. So scriptural verses are put in here, and to let us know. And so now we're moving on to the Greeks. So the Greeks, who many probably were proselytes, many who were believers, came to the feast, and they heard of Jesus, and they wanted to see Jesus. So they went first to Philip, who was of Galilee, beside of Galilee, so he was close to the Gentiles. They reckon, so it was kind of like a mixed community, Jews and Gentiles living together. So they went to him first. Then Philip went to Andrew, and then together they came to Jesus. And then Jesus recognized that this is a sign that he was, the time was at hand for him to die. And so he gave this little parable of a corn. It says a corn of wheat. If it falls, it's nothing. But if it dies, if it's planted, it will grow. And when it grows, it will have a harvest. And there'll be much life as a result of that. Okay. So Jesus, again, here he's talking about his Father, that let's see. Verse 26, If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. So the relationship that he has with the Father, that he does the will of the Father tells him what to do, he does it. The Father, says something, he says it. And so he mentions this, this relationship that he has with the Father. And he mentions that he will, in verse 32, and if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. So this is referring to the cross, foreshadowing, looking ahead toward that time. Okay, so the people they hear him, and many still are puzzled because they're not seeing the spiritual things that he's talking about. He's talking about all of this. And so verse 38 tells them that the saying of Isaiah might be fulfilled. Lord, who had believed the report, and to whom hath the arm of the Lord been revealed? He had blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, that they should not see with their eyes nor understand with their heart and be converted, and I should heal them. So those who are hard-hearted are stuck in seeing the earthly view, but those who have hearts that are softened, that receive the teaching of Jesus, they are the ones whose spiritual eyes are being opened. Verse 42, nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him. But because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue. For they loved the praise of men more than the praise of God. Jesus cried and said, He that believeth on me, believeth not on me, but on him that sent me. And he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. He that rejecteth me and receiveth not my words hath one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me. He gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. So here Jesus again is talking to, referring to the Father. And again, he is the light of the world, so he's talking as light. If you have light, as the sun is up in daytime, of course you can see clearly, you can see everything. But without the light, there is darkness, and in the darkness you stumble and you fall. So because he's the light, he's sharing the knowledge of God the Father, and people are able to see and understand and perceive who he is in that relationship that they have. But if they choose to walk in darkness, then they just stumble and fall and go around in circles. Nothing's going to happen. So I'm going to end it right here. Where's my mouse?